This is Tio and Tio from Barnes & Noble Storytime.
Hello, hi, I'm García-Mathews.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Wellinthon García-Mathews, and we are
married. Yeah, we're so happily married. And this book behind us is our brand new children's book. So let me explain. I work in television. I have for 23 years is what I do. And Wellinthon, can I brag about you for a second?
Of course.
He's an educational leader. So he has a PhD in education. He knows students. He knows how they learn. Part of his job is picking the curriculum that goes in the classrooms.
Surely.
And so here's a true story. At our wedding in May of 2022, we were so touched by Welly's nephews, like my nephews now too,
Okay.
Evan and Andy, how seriously they took their role as our ring bearers.
We were more nervous than we were.
Right? And it was our wedding.
Yeah.
But it was cute. It was cute. They wanted to get it right. They wanted to show up for us. And after the wedding, we were just saying like how extraordinary it was that they took it so seriously. And then Wellinthon, being a genius, said, there might be a children's book there. So we started putting it together. We pitched the idea and people said yes.
Yeah.
And this happened. And it is for sale right now. We're so excited. It comes out April 15th, but we're going to give you a little sneak peek as we both put on our senior citizens glasses so we can read it. We're going to give you a sneak peek.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've read this book aloud.
Yeah.
Ever. And we're going to do it for you guys right here. And we'll show you the illustrations by Tommy Doyle. Oh, and you should know, Drew Barrymore in real life was our flower girl, which is so funny. And she was so great and so beautiful. In the book, we turned her into a little girl version. And she wrote the foreword as well. So you're going to get that when you get the book.
And the book itself is just kind of bringing two cultures together.
It is.
My family's from Dominican Republic, so we speak Spanish, which is why a lot of the words in here, you'll see it's bilingual. It's very bilingual. We have a lot of words that you'll learn in Spanish if you don't speak the language, so hopefully you'll learn some words from this book.
Yeah, there's some great takeaway. Even my Spanish has improved a little bit from writing this book. And there's also, for Spanish-speaking communities, there will be a full Spanish version of this book.
It's called Tio y Tio, and which means uncle and uncle.
Tio and Tio means uncle and uncle. So without further ado,
Let's begin.
We'll take turns reading, and then it will show the illustrations by Tommy Doyle that are so beautiful. To begin, the dedication.
Yes.
This book is dedicated to every little kid with big sueños, which means dreams. Every little kid with big dreams and every parent who helps them believe that their dreams can come true. Preach. All right. Tio and Tio, the ring bearers. Goal! Evan screamed in celebration after he kicked an imaginary soccer ball past his brother. I win! His little brother Andy pleaded, not fair. All right, boys, their papi interrupted as he grabbed the imaginary soccer ball and pretended to hold it above their heads. Time to wrap this game up. We're boarding soon.
Oh, let them play, their mommy laughed. Chicos, it's a long flight from here in New York to your Tio's wedding in Mexico. And you'll be sitting the whole time. Get all your energy out now. You heard mommy, Evan yelled as he grabbed the imaginary soccer ball back from Poppy and threw it towards Andy. 1-0, my lead.
What do we have to do as ring bearers? Andy asked his mommy. Evan corrected him. It's ring bearer, not bear. Andy yelled, holding his hands up like claws. The ring bearers at a wedding are muy importante, mommy explained. They're in charge of the rings. So the fact that Tio Welly asked you to do this means that he really trusts you. Because without the rings, he and your new Tio Ross can't have their wedding.
Whoa, Evan and Andy said simultaneously. Until then, neither of the boys had realized just how important their jobs at the wedding was. They sat there for a minute, allowing the weight of their responsibility to sink in. Then suddenly Andy asked, but do we get to wear our bear costumes? Roar! Evan yelled back as they both erupted into laughter again. Mommy joined their laughter and added, no bear costumes, but you will have to wear a suit and a tie. Both boys grunted and protested, no way! It's going to be super hot in Mexico. Can't we just wear our soccer uniforms instead? We even packed our soccer cleats. What? You packed your soccer cleats? Mommy was shocked. Boys, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Oh, this is my favorite page. The illustration is so beautiful. On the flight, Andy stared out the window of the plane, searching for extraterrestrials like the ones in his favorite movies, but he saw something else exciting instead. Wow, Mommy, Andy exclaimed as they flew over the ocean. I think I can see a whale. Ballena, Mommy corrected him. That's whale in Espanol. And por favor, you need to be practicing the Espanol I've been teaching you. I grew up speaking Spanish in the Dominican Republic, just like Tio Welly. Plus, it's the most common language spoken in Mexico.
Is it an orca ballena? Evan asked. We've been studying them in class. Did you know that some orcas live in the Pacific Ocean off the shore of Mexico? They're also called killer whales, but they're the largest members of the dolphin family and never leave their mother's side when they become adults. Oh, really? Mommy joked. Just like you and Andy will never leave me when you get older. Mommy, the boys replied in unison, rolling their eyes. That's ridículo. Muy bien, Mommy explained in joy. And if you are good, mi hijos, you can both stay up late and eat as much wedding bizcocho as you want at the reception. Andy yelled, Bizcocho! Cake es mi favorito! Mommy replied proudly, Sí, now it's siesta time, so go get some sleep and we'll be there before you know it.
Bizcocho's cake. I probably wrote this. The boys felt like they'd only closed their eyes for a moment, but when they opened them, they were already landing in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Mm-hmm. The first thing they noticed about Mexico was that everything was different. Todo es diferente.
Very good, babe.
Evan thought to himself. Even the air felt different than at home. It was thick and humid and smelled like sweet flowers. They were grateful for the refreshing breeze blowing from the cool ocean.
On the drive to the hotel, they saw colorful banners hanging over the cobblestone streets and people in shorts and flip-flops, sandals walking everywhere. Pointing at one person's sandal, Andy asked his mommy, Chancletas? Sí, his mom responded. Chancletas is sandals in Spanish. Muy bien.
The color of everything was so vibrant. The bright blue ocean, the lush green palm trees, and brightly colored tropical flowers almost looked like neon. The boys could barely contain their excitement. Can we go jump in the waves? I want to pet an orca ballena, Evan asked, impatiently hopping up and down. I want to jump in the pool and then eat like 1,000 slices of wedding bizcocho, Andy cried out.
Bizcocho.
Bizcocho. Scotcho?
Bizcocho.
Bizcocho.
They're probably motioned for them to sit down next to him on the bed. Okay, boys, I want you to understand how important your job is at your Theo's weddings tomorrow. You've got to walk down the aisles in front of everyone. Everyone? Evan gulped, looking wide-eyed at Andy. Are you sure I can't just wear a bear costume? Andy asked, only half jokingly. Sorry, Pooh Bear, Poppy replied. I just couldn't bear to see that. Get it? No one but Mommy laughed. But what if we trip and fall down? Andy asked nervously. Well, you've got to practice. And then once you're in front of everyone, it's your responsibility to present the rings to Tio and Tio. And if there's no ring, then they can't say I do. So they're counting on both of you.
Even though Evan was nervous himself, he put his arm around his younger brother, attempting to calm his nerves. We got this, Poppy. We know you do, their Poppy continued, empowering the boys as he handed them a box containing both of their Tio's rings. And your mommy and I are trusting you both to work together to find a place to keep the rings safe until the wedding ceremony. Once you're sure you found a safe hiding spot, then you can go play. Comprende?
Muy bien.
Thank you.
Not bad.
They've got to hide the rings, but look who's watching them in more.
Yes. So Evan and Andy hurried to find somewhere to hide the rings. Under the pillow? Andy asked. Too obvious, Evan replied. In the bathtub? No way, Evan answered. The rings go down the drain. We've got to focus. This is really important. Our Theos have always been there for us. At our birthday parties, when they score your first soccer game. soccer goal, and when I graduated 5th grade. All the big stuff. And now we've got to be there for them. We can't screw this up.
Okay, Evan continued, let me think. We can't just hide them in a drawer because someone could open the drawer and they could fall out. And then a parrot could fly in here and grab them in its beak and fly away with them. Yeah, good point, Andy agreed. And then the parrot might drop the rings into the ocean and then they could get stuck in the ballena's blowhole. Totally, Evan said, exasperated. We've got to find somewhere perfect, somewhere no one else knows about and no one would ever find them. Suddenly, Evan sat up. I got it! Come with me.
That night was the pre-wedding party, and the boys got to attend, just like the grown-up wedding guests. There was tons of yummy food, dancing, and the best thing ever, karaoke.
Oh my gosh, which is true.
The guests had come from many different places and were all happy to be at the celebration. Andy and Evan already knew lots of the people, like their family members and some of Theo's friends. But their new Theo, Ross, had tons of family and friends there too.
Their Tios also had a flower girl named Drew. The boys felt relieved that they weren't the only kids with major responsibilities at the wedding. Drew wore pigtails and had a giant, slightly crooked smile that somehow made her even more adorable. Hi, I'm Drew, she said, extending her hand. I'm the flower girl, and I get to throw flower petals at the wedding. I've been practicing for weeks. Well, aren't you kind of nervous? Evan asked. Drew gasped. Nervous? Are you kidding me? Not at all.
After their Theo sang I Got You, Babe,
Which is true.
at karaoke, they made a toast and even thanked Drew for being their flower girl, as well as Evan and Andy for being their ring bearers. The audience applauded and cheered. Wow, Mommy said, elbowing the boys. Your Theos gave you a shout out. How cool is that? Yeah, Andy laughed. We got a shout out and so did Drew. Okay, me host, Mommy added. I've got to ask, where did you hide your Theo's rings? Andy turned to his mother. Don't worry about that, Mommy. He continued, giving his brother a wink. We got that covered.
That night, both Andy and Evan tossed and turned. They had scary dreams about the wedding the next day. Evan had a nightmare that he tripped while walking in front of Drew and all the guests laughed at him. Andy dreamt that he forgot where they hid the rings, and because he ruined the wedding, no one let him eat cake.
The day of the wedding, Andy was still nervous, a nervous wreck, as he and his brother put on their fancy suit. Evan, are you sure we're ready to be ring bearers? He asked. Evan sat down next to his little brother and reassured him. It's okay to be nervous. I've never been in front of this many people either. But if your Theos believe in us, then we have to believe in ourselves too. Te quiero, little brother. Andy instantly felt better. I love you too.
Hey, guapos, Mommy yelled from behind them. I just can't believe how mature you chicos are. Stand up and let me see you in those outfits. Mommy, the boys moaned as they begrudgingly showed off their suits, although they both secretly liked how they felt wearing grown-up clothes. Okay, ring bearers, Poppy said. It's almost showtime. Time to get the rings. Where are they? Oh no! Evan screamed. We lost them! What? Their parents screamed back.
Evan waited a beat and then shouted, just kidding! Before the two boys exploded into hysterics. Not funny, Mommy said, exhaling deeply in relief. Then Evan went into the closet and opened his suitcase. We hid the rings in one place. We knew they'll be safe. Our soccer cleats! Yep, Andy added. It turns out there's so much fun and stuff to do here in Mexico. We didn't even want to play soccer. Pretty good hiding spot, huh? Great hiding spot, boys, Poppy said, beaming. We're proud of you. So proud, Mommy agreed. Now, vámonos. We don't want to be late to your Theo's wedding.
Wow, Evan said as he watched Drew take center stage in the limelight as she pranced down the aisle, twirling in her dress and tossing flowers everywhere. She's really not nervous at all. How is she so confident, Andy thought to himself. Is she some sort of extraterrestrial? Suddenly, it was showtime.
The boys walked side by side in perfect unison down the aisles. They made eye contact with their family and as well as new friends they've met that weekend. We did it! Andy whispered as a high-fived his brother.
It's now time for the ring exchange, the wedding officiant announced to the guests. The grooms have selected their nephews, Evan and Andy, as their ring bearers. Boys, do you have the rings? Evan and Andy stepped forward. Evan cleared his throat and proudly said, "We do," as both boys leapt out of their seats toward their tios and gave them the rings. And even more importantly, big hugs. "Good job, buddies," Tio Willie whispered.
Wow, mi hijos, Mommy said as she watched Andy eat another piece of cake. How many slices of bizcocho is that for you now? Andy rubbed his tummy. I think I lost count as 5. Drew walked up to the boys. You both were amazing ring bearers, she said. Thanks, Evan said proudly. And you were a great flower girl. Did you have fun? The best time ever, Drew said, jumping up and down. Then she reached into her basket, and I saved both of you a flower. And we saved you another piece of bizcocho, Andy said, and all 3 of them giggled and ran towards the dessert table.
Well, you all look like you're having fun, Tio Welly said as he and Tio Ross walked up. Gracias for being the best ring bearers ever. It was important to Tio Ross and me for you both to be part of this special day. It means a lot to us. Los quiero mucho. We love you lots.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed, boys. You slayed it. You almost stole the spotlight from us. Almost, Tio Ross joked as they all laughed. I'm so happy to be a part of your family. Familia, Evan interjected. In our family, we say familia. Mommy smiled proudly. I'll never forget tonight, Andy declared. I had the best time ever. And what about you, Evan? Asked Tio Ross. Evan thought about how to answer for a moment, but then he replied, it was great. But I do think there's one thing that could have been better.
I just wish, Evan continued motioning towards his younger brother, that we've worn bear costumes. Big mistake. Big. Huge. The entire family burst into laughter as they put their hands up like claws, bear claws, and yelled, and then they hugged and danced and celebrated late into the night, way past Evan and Andy's bedtime. The end.
The end. And that's the book. And if you go to the very last page, you will see pictures from the actual wedding, just so you can see how true
It was.
true all of this is. There's us with Drew, and there's us with Andy and Evan.
They loved it. They had so much fun.
And to see our family come through like that, especially Evan and Andrew.
Yeah, they were amazing.
So amazing. In fact, they inspired this book.
They did.
Tio and Tio. I think there's sweet takeaway for kids. I hope it makes you giggle, and I hope it gives you a chance to have a conversation with your kids about responsibility.
And I also feel that, as adults, you'll enjoy it just as much. We gave you a lot of Easter egg hunts in there, so enjoy.
Hope you enjoyed our reading for Barnes & Noble Storytime. If you like the book and want to get your own copy, you can just head over to your local Barnes & Noble or visit barnesandnoble.com.